Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. This is the Stuff I Heard podcast, and I'm your host, Josh Peak. And this is our 212th episode. Today happens to be April the 11th, 2020. And I have two guests today. I'll let them introduce themselves. This is Kristina and Daniel. You guys want to say hello?
Hello.
Hey, guys. I'm Daniel Johnson. This is my wife, Kristina.
And we originally met because of my wife. My wife was going to a gym with some of her friends, and she kept saying, "Oh, you're going to love this class. It's so great," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, look at this class. Well, she dragged me to a kettlebell class that Kristina was teaching, and I was like, this can't be that hard. Look at all the little girls in here. And it kicked my ass, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, so, she kept going, and I felt like I was infringing upon her workout time with her girls, and I was like, I need to back out of here. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I'm not working out with them anymore. I'm letting them do their thing. Whatever she's doing, fine. I just don't want to cramp her style. I feel like I was cramping her style. I'm like a personality, so I want to talk to people and stuff, and I kept feeling like I was out of the loop, and I was like, I want to talk to people, but it kind of ruined her little thing, and I was like, all right, you do your thing, and I'll just figure it out. I'll figure out something else. So that's when I started building furniture. You see how well that took off.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, I've been telling people that you and I talked originally on Facebook because you are a trainer at a local gym. We were talking about the gym we were talking about is Fitness World Gym. And right now, because of the quarantine, because of the coronavirus, everybody's kind of trapped indoors. And I was telling people, one of the things that we're all facing right now is how do we stay fit while we're stuck inside? Or not necessarily stuck inside, but stuck away from the gym. So one of the things that I was impressed that you're doing is your Facebook Live. So tell me about that.
Yes, so Fitness World is offering free classes to anyone, even if you're not a member, and it's on the Fitness World Gym's Facebook page. And there are classes Monday through Saturday, a variety of instructors from all of our locations, and all of the classes are different. There's Zumba, there's kickboxing, there's weights, there's a whole variety. So pretty much something for everyone, and it's just a way for people to still stay active at home. And since we do it live, it's kind of like you're there with us, and we're doing it together versus pre-recording it and posting it. So we can see people's reactions. We can ask them, is it hard enough? Stuff like that. Is it too hard? And we can, interact with them. So it's like we're still at the gym pretty much. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's like stuff that you have like laying around in the house. You could find things like, detergent bottles and stuff like that to lift, and resistance training, and just jogging in place and burpees and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I've watched a few of them from different trainers, and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. And I wonder if people know about it. That was the big thing I didn't know, is if people even knew about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of wanted to promote your thing and say, here's how you can check out Kristina's videos, and also how you can find other videos.
Yeah. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing at a lot of gyms that you pay a membership, obviously, and it's just a class. Mm-hmm. They, for instance, 9 rounds and Flowtown Yoga, those type of places, you can't just openly go in. You're going to a class. And so what they did so that they can still support their instructors was you continue to pay your membership, but then you have access to training online. And so they are filming videos and posting it. So it was kind of like that. But it's free and it's open to everyone because Fitness World classes are free. And since it's a gym, you can't obviously go in and lift weights, but we're still trying to give the class aspect to keep people moving. And then not everyone has tons of weights, so we're trying to keep that in consideration whenever we're picking different exercises, like what would someone have? And almost everyone right now has a bottle of wine and laundry detergent. So almost everyone has something that they can use. And for the people that don't work out anyway, a lot of the exercises can be done with no weight and it's still just as effective. Yeah,
that's really helpful. And, one of the things I was thinking about also was, if anybody's looking at YouTube right now, they're going, she's fit, of course she's fit, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but you didn't start that way.
No.
So you got started, from my understanding, this is called Stuff I Heard, so this is what I heard. What I heard was, you met Daniel, and Daniel was in the military, or joined the military, or was joining the military, and had gotten into distance running.
Yes,
and your running, I guess, spurred her on to want to run. Is that kind of how this started?
Yeah, I didn't even know I was a big runner, and I joined the military, and they just kind of like bumping me up. Hey, you lead these people running here, and lead these people running here, and I started getting good at it. And then I got out of the military and started running more, and ran several marathons. And Kristina, she was always there by my side. She was out there, the girl with the sign, holding everything up, cheering me on, and just a big supporter. And finally, it took hold on her, and she just took off. And she started teaching classes, and they became very popular. And then she started running too, and she's done a lot with her running. And yeah, so
running kind of kicked it off for you.
Yeah, she kind of.
Yeah, I literally was that girl that almost failed gym class. Like scraped by with like a D minus. Always had good grades. Gym class, almost failed it. The only reason I passed was because I did not want to have to retake it. And so when Daniel and I started dating, he used to have to take PT test every so often.
Yeah.
So the men that he worked with, they would go to the track and run. And I became friends with a girl that was in the military. So she was like, why don't you start coming out there with us? Yeah, I didn't make it around the track one time without feeling like I was going to die. And I'm not a smoker or anything, but I could not breathe. And I was like, this is horrible. And then we moved to Italy, and I had no friends in Italy because you're very isolated. Mm-hmm. And I ended up meeting someone that was from Charleston. And so her and I were substitute teachers, and we just became really good friends. And her husband struggled with his PT test. So she was trying to get him to go to the gym more. And so it kind of became like a group effort. We all started going to the gym, and her and I mainly just went to talk. But then we moved back to the States, and Daniel continued to run, and I actually got a job at Fitness World just working at the desk while I was finishing college. And Curtis, that owns the gym, he made everyone that worked at the desk take every single class that he offered, so that when members came in, we could describe what the class was and not just be like, I don't know, go try it. And I feel like it was a good thing because we actually offered CrossFit at the time, and when people would come in and ask about it, I don't know. I don't know what they do. So he forced us to take every class, and I remember being like, this is horrible. But I went to the CrossFit class, and I thought I was going to die. But everyone in the class was in their 30s and 40s, and here I was like 22 years old. And I was like, this is pathetic. Like, what am I doing with my life? And Daniel started running with Curtis. And so one day, Daniel and Curtis was like, why don't you just join us in Run Club? And Becca Andrews was teaching it then. And I was like, y'all are going to leave me. And they did. But I just became the type of person that if I suck at something, I want to do it even more. And I really sucked at running. So I was like, you know what? I'm running a half marathon. And so that's what I did.
Boom.
That's funny that you almost failed gym class.
Yes. My parents.
So you didn't, I mean, you said, in your early 20s is when you were like, all right, screw this. I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that just have, they're indoor cats, I like to call them. They don't do much. They're stuck inside. They don't get outside their comfort zone ever. But at a certain point, you kind of have a moment in your life where you answer a question to yourself of, all right, what am I doing here? I mean, what do I want? And you got to answer that question yourself. And sometimes it means get off your ass and go do something.
Yes.
And this is definitely a good example of that. I was going out in the Marine Corps when I joined. I didn't join until I was 20. And before that, I'd play with my friends like in the pool, or I would play basketball with them, but I wasn't that physical. And then when I joined the Marine Corps, it was like, well, we're running day one. Like they told me this, like, you got to run like 1.5 miles under this time in order to even get in. And I was like, I've never run that far before. And I remember having to, train to try and be able to run 1.5 miles. And then, I thought, okay, well, I finally got this 1.5 mile thing down. I can do that without dying. But when I went to boot camp, the first day, they were like, all right, 3 mile run, let's go. And you're like, wait, I thought we were going to work up to a 3 mile. And after I got done with the 3 mile, I thought I was going to throw up, but I finished it. And it was weird because I'd never run that far before. And I realized later, after you go through the stuff and you have friends that then become drill instructors, they tell you the test is to see your resolve. because you're going to be faced with things that are tougher than you think, and you have to overcome those odds no matter what. Even if you physically can't, you got to have that thing inside of you that doesn't let you quit. And that's what they were testing for. They were seeing, what is your ability? What is your willingness to just push through? And a lot of people failed. Man, I finished, and I was like, it wasn't a great time, but I finished, and I was like, oh, dear God. Well, fast forward to 4 years of that and running all the time for fitness tests, you know, and also because I was not a good runner in the beginning, I joined a run club, or I kind of created a run club with some people on the base. We got to where we would run, our base was 13 and a half miles around.
Yep.
So we had an inner loop that was 8 miles and another loop that was 5 miles. Well, we got to where we were doing the 3 mile and we were like, we need our run time to be faster. What if we built up our endurance by going more miles? Because you figure if you run 5 miles and you're okay, then when you do 3 miles, you can push it a little harder. So with that mentality, we kind of trained ourselves and we did the 5 mile. And after a while, we did the 8. And after a while, we did the whole base. Yeah. And after we did the whole base, we got to where we were doing that once a week. And it was like, this isn't that hard. What if we go a little bit further? Mm-hmm. And it's weird when you find yourself physically saying 13 and a half miles isn't that far. Yeah. But if you keep doing it, you do get to that point where you say that out loud and you're going, I wonder how far I can push myself.
Yeah. It's surprising.
And then you do it and you're like, holy cow. But, when I got out, I remember my last fitness test when I was exiting the Marine Corps. I got out and I was like, oh, I'm never doing that again. So, I thought that was the one thing I really hated in my brain. Like, it wasn't fun. It was maintenance. Like it was it's like homework. It's like you got to do this when you go home because it's going to make XYZ better for you. And it was like, but I hate doing this. I always hated it. Even when I was doing the long runs with the groups of people, I hated it. And then when I got out, I was like, well, I'm never doing that again. No reason to. Well, I met my wife, and Dolores would say that she for years had never worked out or she did like lifting weights, but she never was like a fitness considered person. And at 47, we're sitting on the couch, and she leans over and she goes, I think I'm gonna start this couch to 5K thing. And I was like, what? And that was the beginning of her running. And she did it. She followed through the plans, and she was like, you want to do it with me? I was like, absolutely not. No way. You have fun, and I'll be the person that holds the sign that you were talking about. I'll hold the sign and cheer you on. You're doing great. And I've taken out most of these pictures that are on the wall of her running, and it's just, all along the way, she's like, it'd be great if you did it with me. I'm like, absolutely not. No absolute way. But,
I feel it's just as much fun being, out there on the sidelines cheering somebody on too, as it is just, being in the race from being on both sides. Yeah. And now being behind the camera with Kristina, I get to see her working out every day. It's just as much enjoyable for me as it is running down the road.
Yeah. I think it would be different if I hadn't had to do it for a job. Yeah. If it wasn't part of my requirement. Mm-hmm. And I was at the same point of life, where she was, of just never having that moment. And then one day just going, yeah, let's do it. I mean, I probably would have been more engaged to just join right in and right beside her the whole way. But because I had to do it for a job, my brain instantly thinks, oh, this is a lot of work. And I go, no, not for me. So, I mean, one of the goals of this podcast lately is I've been, trying to get people out of their comfort zones and sort of challenge them to do things differently. So, right now we're stuck inside a lot of times, and I keep telling people, go outside a little bit, walk around your neighborhood, also, practice social distancing and that kind of crap. But it's important for you to get some vitamin D from the sun. It helps you fight off infection, but it also will make you feel better than if you're trapped indoors all day, because you'll go crazy indoors. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially if you're trapped indoors, even with the loved one that you have said, I love you forever and blah, blah, blah. After about a week or two, you're like, if she says my name one more time, it's you kind of need a little bit of, separation a little bit. So sometimes you do it like separately. You're like, you go work out in the morning and I'll do this afternoon. Mm-hmm. And just some alone time, pop in some earphones and go for a run, or, work out with, like you said, wine bottles and jugs of detergent or whatever. Just sweat a little bit, get outside and kind of blow off some steam. And that will help, I think. So one of my questions is, what are you guys doing to sort of, help you get through this quarantine time of, craziness?
So I am doing the live videos on the Fitness World page, but I have a kettlebell challenge going on right now. So I have a private group for my challengers. So I'm constantly trying to like post live videos in that group and get them moving. And then we have bought a lot of weights lately, which was a struggle to find because everyone has bought all the weights. Then I can't ride a bike.
This is funny.
I can't ride a bike.
What do you mean you can't ride a bike?
I can't ride a bike. I'm clumsy. I'm
like a balance issue?
Yeah, I'm like the clumsiest person ever.
I mean, my wife also can't ride a bike lately. Like it's a new thing. Like
yeah.
I don't know.
So like when I'm teaching, if we're doing something that requires a lot of coordination, I have to focus so hard to make sure that I don't fall. So the bike thing is a whole balance. But about 6 or 7 years ago, my kettlebell class actually bought me a bicycle. I rode it one time, and I was like, one and done, never doing this again. But we have a friend named Hallie, and she lives like 2 miles from us, and we can actually go through the cloisters and down Damon Street to get to her house. And so she has a bike, a cruiser bike, just like mine. So it was her bright idea that we ride a bike. So I sucked it up, and now I'm the leader of our new bike gang, and I'm riding faster than the 2 of them. But it's been fun because I wasn't good at it, and I'm still, if there's like a decline or a bump, I'm getting off and I'm pushing it because I just don't trust myself.
Any gravel, she's off the bike.
Yeah,
and she's like walking next to it. She can be ahead because you know you're going to catch her whenever.
Yeah, they don't even care because they
trail.
know that as soon as we get somewhere that's kind of tricky, that I'm going to have to walk.
Yep.
But also I'm very like petrified that I'm going to fall and a car is going to hit me because I'm just so clumsy. And when cars come up behind me, I get all nervous. So like I'm gripping like this. But luckily there's like no traffic on Damon right now.
Yeah.
And everyone in that neighborhood is on bicycles, walking, running, golf carts. So it's just kind of been cool to see that whole community getting out and doing stuff and getting vitamin D, like you said, gotten some sun each day. And then it's just been fun. And it's been fun to try something different because if we were not in the situation, I would not have pulled that bike out of the attic.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good to get outside your comfort zone, like you said, and find something new that you would enjoy.
Yeah.
And then test yourself also to try something new. We were talking about bikes earlier. My wife and I did a trip up to Cape Cod and visited my dad and his wife's family. And they had this great idea of let's go rent bikes and ride from, I think it's Falmouth, Connecticut to Worms Hole or something like that. It's a long, very scenic bike ride along the coast where it crosses over several sections of road that you're supposed to get off your bike, walk it across the road, and get back on and keep riding.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they designed it that way. I guess it's so that you don't just think you're okay and run into traffic.
Yeah.
Because the roads are pretty windy. But the whole path, you keep looking over, and you're like, oh, look, the coast. Oh, it's so pretty. And you just, you're kind of riding, looking over. And we knew it was going to be a beautiful ride. So me being a YouTuber, I brought my little GoPro camera.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pedaling, and then I get the GoPro up, and I'm filming and what we're doing and filming the people behind us. And it looks great. And at a certain point, Dolores rides up beside me, and I'm like, she looks so cute on her bike. I was like, hey, baby. And she goes, and just right off the side of the thing, and just right down a hill, face first.
That would be me.
I filmed the whole thing. You hear her go, oh no, and just face first down the hill. I jump off the bike. I throw the thing in my pocket. It's still on. I didn't realize it was still on. I run down the hill. She's like, I'm okay. And she's got like the classic, with the hair all up, and there's dirt everywhere. And I'm picking dirt out of her ear and off her, eyes and stuff. And she's like, I'm okay. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. We have to bend the wheel in the front because the wheel's now resting up against the fender, and we get it all situated, get her cleaned up, and she's like, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm 50 and I can't ride a bike no more. And so we get her back on the bike, and we ride all the way to the town we were going to go to. Yeah. We got on there. I think the original plan was for us to go to see a aquarium, but it was closed. We didn't realize it was going to be closed that day. So we in the little town there, we sightseed and had some lunch, and then on the way back, one of those spots where you're supposed to get off the bike and walk it across the road.
Yeah.
She went to get off the bike, and I don't know what happened because I was past her. I hear her go, oh no! And all of a sudden, I hear crash. And I turn around, and she's landed on her face. Like she had a big, nasty scar on her face, and it was bleeding. Goodness. And I was like, oh no. And I jumped off the bike and ran across the road and, scooped her up. And she was just, she's like, I'm never riding a bicycle again, ever. And I was like, okay, but I kind of wonder, I don't think it has as much to do with balance as it has to do with the fact that she's so short, the bicycle being a standard height, she couldn't touch the ground when she's sitting on the thing. So getting on and off was difficult. The thing with going off the side, I'm sure, is being distracted, looking over and not paying attention to where your wheels pointed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did make a video about it and put it on YouTube. I had to get her permission, and I was like, "Is this okay?" She's like, "Let me see it," and I did it, and she's like, "Yes, it's fine." But it was, I didn't show the second. I didn't shoot any of the part where she got her chin all messed up. But since then, we brought up the bicycle many times. I'm like, "Hey, you want to buy a bicycle?" She's like, "Don't even ask me." I was like,
Oh,
I just asked,
Well, don't ride past me and wave because
Well, she
I'm
might
not.
come
I'm not
around
gonna,
because Kristina came around again.
but I'm not going to wave at you if I can't take my hands off.
I told her I'd get her like a little girl's one that's got like the little basket on the front.
That's what I have.
Maybe training wheels or something.
I need those.
Then you can go off-roading. You can get on grass and drive down.
Yeah. Come to a bump and just get the front wheel over and then stop and be like, "I made it over the thing." Be like, "Yeah, keep pedaling."
Victory.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty funny.
I'm sorry, I derailed the thing. What have you been doing there during this time to kind of keep busy?
Well, I'm still kind of working. Like, I fix gym equipment, and we keep it all in a warehouse. So it's just me working on broke equipment in a warehouse, trying to get it ready for when these gyms do open up again. So I've been really fortunate to be able to keep on working through these times. And then as far as like fitness and everything else, I've just tried to been like kind of running on the weekends. Today I have a little run, and last Saturday I had a run. So I've just been doing little short 9-mile skits there and doing that kind of thing. Other than that, I do a lot with like video, kind of like you, Josh. And although the podcast thing is new to me, I do listen to them as well as Kristina listens to them, and I know that we both enjoy them. But this is definitely a wonderful opportunity for us to be on the podcast. But back to myself. I'm sorry I got off topic again. I got a YouTube and Facebook and Instagram that I like posting content and taking photography pictures on. So outside of all those other things, I just take pictures and make videos.
Well, here's your chance. Tell everybody where they can find your Instagram and YouTube stuff.
Boom, boom. My Instagram is DanNation_85. And then my Instagram for photography is AZ__productions. And AZ Productions is where I put like some of my most proudest pieces of work. And then YouTube's kind of funny. I don't know how to get people to my YouTube channel, so I really ain't gonna try to send you guys that way. I got more work to do on that, but
It's a process, you know. But here's your chance. Send people your way.
okay. YouTube, I think it's AZ Productions. It should be AZ Productions. I know that I'm gonna be releasing a video tomorrow. It's going to be on the dog pageant show. Me and Kristina are involved in bulldog stuff all the time. And there was a 5K down at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. And we filmed the whole thing, and I got that coming up, and it should be pretty exciting. It's more Kristina because, like I said, I'm always behind the camera. So she is the spotlight, and she does a good job at it.
It was a beauty pageant. For our dogs.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of your Instagram stuff, and your photo ability and the way you do lighting is very interesting. It's a next level of production that I don't know if I'll ever learn, but I look at it just to appreciate it. I'm like, daggum, how did he get that shot? And a lot of it is you going out early in the morning or late at night when there's nobody on the streets or in a secluded area to get a shot that maybe is just the perfect time to do it because normally it's full of people. So, but yeah, definitely check out AZ Productions on Instagram and on YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. And you also have an Instagram, is that right?
Yes, it's lifting_bell with an E at the end.
Okay, cool deal. All right. So anyway, have you guys been watching anything on TV lately that have kept your interest?
Yes,
You
Tiger
have?
King.
Tiger
Yeah,
King?
that Tiger
Yes.
King, man.
Oh.
It was the dumbest show ever. Complete waste of my life. Like a train wreck, but I couldn't stop watching it. So
It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
free
I didn't think
Tiger
I would.
King.
I can't watch it.
You can't watch it, Josh?
I can't watch it.
Why?
Because, okay, so I have a theory that you can't unsee some things.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
true.
unsee
I mean,
it.
You can't
I've
unsee
seen
it.
enough in life where there's been moments where I thought, oh crap, that's in my brain now. I'll never get rid of that. You know, everything that you take into your eyes can eventually become part of your dreams. They say that when you're a baby, like you don't dream of anything other than sounds because that's all you have. But every character that you come into contact with in your life is one day going to be a character in your dreams, whether you realize it or not. It's your subconscious that populates everybody. Like this one guy was saying he had a dream about his mom. And he's like, and I made my mom mad. He goes, but my mom's not having the dream. It's my dream. Yeah. So in my dream, I'm also my mother. And I know she's upset because I'm upset because I populated her. She doesn't actually exist in my brain. He's like,
that's pretty funny.
He said the thought of that kind of hit me funny one day. I was on a plane and I actually had a seat in first class. They upgraded me and I'm sitting next to Matt Damon and I'm like, it's Matt freaking Damon. You know, and he goes, he'll never know who I am. But one day he's going to have a dream and somebody's serving him coffee. Guess what? It's me. I'm going to be there. And he'll be like, who's this guy? Oh, yeah, it was the guy that sat next to me that one time. It was really annoying, you know. But yeah, I mean, so Tiger King looks like a lot of people that I'm related to. And have had a lot of past with, and it was a very stressful time. And when I saw the previews for it, I was like, all right, mullets and cocaine and drinking and bad decisions, and I don't want to relive my past. I'm just going to walk away from that, let that be a thing, and y'all enjoy the arm ripping off and the.
You didn't miss much.
The memes are pretty funny, though.
The memes
are hilarious. I don't even have to watch it to know that Carol's guilty.
Yes, Carol killed her husband. That's all you have to know. Yeah. Yesterday, I actually got donuts from this place called Chicken Butt, and they have a Tiger King package. Yeah. So you've got your Carol Baskin donut, which is like bright pink with flowers all over it. And then you've got like the actual tiger striped one. Mm-hmm. And then they have the Tiger King one, which is a whole bunch of radiant colors because he's always wearing all these bright
He's a
colors.
pretty radiant person.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, I don't think any of those decisions were made on a sober basis.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. So I just can't watch it. Like, there's a lot of those shows that are real popular I can't watch. Like that show You that came out.
That's her too now.
Oh, that is
terrifying.
Favorite show.
just watching the preview, I'm like,
I have watched it over and over.
That makes me just the preview alone makes me go nope.
It's so good. I bet now you wish you had his box though.
A box?
The box that he puts people in. It's like the perfect opportunity. Then you wouldn't get the virus.
Again, you can't unsee that. I'm just saying.
They get like some package to the door and you're talking about sealing people up. That's pretty funny. But
it's a good show.
Yeah.
It's worth the watch.
Jeez. No, I can't do that. I had to go different. Like I went in a different direction during this whole crap. I needed something I could watch that was going to take my mind off of it.
Yeah, give us a good show.
So Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
I watched the animated Star Wars stuff. I'd never watched that stuff before.
The Mandalorian?
I watched The Mandalorian's like a regular show, but the animated stuff is, I guess it was originally on. There was a show, Clone Wars, was like 7 seasons that were originally on like Cartoon Network or something like that. And I'd never seen it.
Was it good?
It was good.
Well,
it was actually pretty good. And it fills in a lot of questions that you have when you're watching the movies because there's a lot of dialogue that happens between those prequel movies that you're like, what are they talking about? And then you see it on the animated series and you're like, oh, they did this according to the story they were building all along, and you're supposed to watch the animated and then watch the thing. I was like,
missed the memo. I was supposed to watch these 15.
Well, that totally answers a lot of questions. And then there was another series called Star Wars Rebels that apparently happened after Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Before the prequel stuff, before Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. So it's that weird gap in between.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was better than Clone Wars. It was awesome. I was like, this is really well done. It was on a channel called XD. I don't know if it was a cartoon channel or what, but I watched it and I was like, this is really awesome. And it was a lot of content. I mean, and they were only like 20 minutes long because it was originally on TV with commercials.
Yeah.
So without the intro and without the outro and without commercials, you're 20 minutes per episode. You can bang through a lot of them. Yeah. And it's kind of mindless in a way, but every once in a while there's a cool episode that has to do with the Star Wars universe or Yoda or something, and you're like, oh, this is really good, like a really cool fight scene or something. But it was fun for me to pass the time that way. And along the way, a lot of comedy specials came out. On Netflix, they had Bert Kreischer had his special, Hey Big Boy. Tom Segura had Ball Hogs come out. Taylor Tomlinson had her Quarter Life Crisis. That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. Michelle Wolf had one just before this thing started that I've been watching over and over again because I like her comedy. Mm-hmm. A lot of comedian specials. My wife at night has found Andy Griffith on Netflix. And we watched Andy Griffith when I was a kid on TV.
Yeah.
But now you can watch all the episodes, again, with no commercials, no intro, no outro, 20 or so minutes long. And it's just wholesome. Mm-hmm. Every night before I go to bed, we're watching Andy Griffith. Like, you're like, oh, this is good. And you know it's always going to work out. So, with this
ending.
craziness going on, you're like,
that's what we need.
Yeah, but at the end of every season, it's all going to work out.
Yeah,
it sort of gives you hope, you know? And so I've been trying to stick with that idea. Tiger King does not give you hope. I already know that watching the previews. The show You doesn't give you hope. I already seen that in the previews. It doesn't work out well for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I guess my thing is I'm trying to like get people to be distracted by something. If they're indoor cats and if they're strapped to their TV, what are they going to watch? What can be something that they like? You know, so I don't know. I'm just kind of asking people what's outside the box of something that maybe nobody's seen that you've seen.
I enjoyed that that heist on it's on Netflix. It's a Spanish show, and they go back and they redub over it and they put the English words over the top of it, which the mouths don't match up. But I watched through it, and it was the 4th season, I believe, that just came out this past week. And what I didn't realize is that's the number 1 grossing Netflix movie all around the world.
Really?
And that blew my mind. Somehow it connected with everybody on another level. And even though it was like, it's a good film, they can't, like Spain, they said Spain canceled it and Netflix picked it up and brought it back for another 2 seasons, I believe. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. And it's just about these people going in, robbing the mint of Spain. I hope that doesn't get you in trouble. No, I'm not robbing the mint of Spain.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, they do that, and it's a pretty cool video. So as long as you guys can handle like videos with dubs over the top of them, or you just want to read the subtitle and leave it in Spanish, I think that's a good way to go with this, and it's got a neat message. So
there's a lot of those on there that are filmed in like other countries that it seems like they only have like 4 actors doing all of the voices. It's like 2 males and 2 females, and they're doing all of the voices. And so like sometimes you see their mouth moving really fast, and it's like, so anyway, I went to the store. And you're like, yeah, but she's doing this. That doesn't match up.
I can't watch those.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. I'm like,
there's so much reading.
Yes.
There's so much reading.
she walked in the room the other day and she's like, I can't believe you're watching this show again. I'm like, it's good. I like it.
because
Before
the
the
mouths are just moving and the words are not matching, and they're
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like river dance. You see their legs moving. And you
Yeah.
go, what are they doing with his
I
legs?
can't do it.
Yeah.
It is hard, but
Well, I mean, before this pandemic started, I watched Narcos, which is a lot of reading because it's in Spanish.
yeah.
So there's a lot of them speaking fluently, and you're trying to keep up, and you're like, and I swear I could watch like 2 or 3 episodes, and my eyes would just be burning. I was like, I've been staring at the screen trying to decipher all this. Why can't they just talk in English? But I get the fact that they're trying to make it legitimate and all that stuff. But also, I had no idea that cocaine was so prevalent. I was like, wow, I really didn't have any idea about all of this. This makes my childhood it'll make a lot of sense now. And suddenly Miami makes more sense. And then you see, then Tiger King comes out, and you're like, as soon as it was advertised, I looked at my wife and went, cocaine. I was like, there's no way they didn't make a decision without cocaine in this whole thing. Like, I got an idea. Let's get a tiger, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy. But after I watched, like, Narcos and learned about Pablo Escobar, I was like, all right. So the main character then starts up a new season, which you find out the main character is the guy that plays the Mandalorian. You don't ever get to see his face until like the last episode of The Mandalorian. His name's Pablo Pascal in real life.
Okay.
So he's the main character in Narcos, the DEA agent who's going after Pablo Escobar. Spoiler alert. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he then is the main character in a new spin-off, Narcos, that has to do with Mexico. So it talks about Mexican drug cartels. And Dolores had saw how I was into it, and she goes, "You're gonna watch those?" And I went, "I gotta take a break from Spanish. This is killing me. I'm starting to pick up weird words. And I'm starting to say cocaína way too much. I'm starting to curse at people in Spanish just because it comes fluently from hearing it all the time.
Yeah.
You know." But she was like, "Okay, well, what are you gonna watch?" And I was like, "Anything else? I gotta watch something else." So that's when I geared down and started watching the animated stuff. I was like, "Let me just give my brain a rest and just." Every once in a while, you just want something to kind of numb out to. And you're like, what can I just turn on and have in the background?
I might need to watch that Narcos. I started, and like you said, I just, I got tired of reading. I made it like 3 episodes, and I was like, nah, I can't. But they keep coming out with seasons, so it must be good.
Well, the crazy part is that first one, I don't know if the Mexico one's done the same way. I'm sure it probably is. They used actual news footage of the devastation and destruction that happened whenever they would just murder towns and groups of people and stuff like that. You just see them piling up bodies, or there are moments where Pablo Escobar is in public, and he ran for office at one time and won the election. And then when he went to go, serve his office, they all, talked crap to him and basically shunned him out of the building. It pissed him off, and he went into seclusion. And then at a certain point, his wife's like, I want to go back home. And he goes, but if I do, there must be war. And she goes, do what you have to do. Next thing you see, he's got tanks rolling down the middle of the town, and they're blowing up the buildings with the people in it. And I was like, that really... And then they're showing news footage. I'm like, that really happened. Holy crap.
His wife's like... I just wanted to move back home.
She's like, I miss home, baby. He's like, but if I go, many people will die. She goes, coin line, do what you have to do. He's like, okay. Like, holy crap. Of course, I used to tell the kids all the time when they were young, we raised 3 boys. I said, listen, you're going to hear a lot in your life that men rule the world. They don't. Women rule the world. You think Napoleon wanted France? No. Yeah. Josephine said, I wanted France. He goes, I'd be right back. He didn't want France. She wanted France. But he went and got France. That's how it works. If we were just cavemen, we'd have died long ago because we'd have sat in our caves and we would have done nothing. But there was some woman that was like, I want a place out there in the field. And he went, I don't know. And she goes, Grant's going to give me a place in the field. He goes, I'll go and get you a place. I mean, it kind of motivates us to do something, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, did we learn anything from this podcast? I laughed, I cried, it moved me. We learned about fitness. We learned about how to stay fit while we're in the quarantine. We got some shows we can watch. Anybody listening to podcasts or anything that you could talk about that might interest people? I know you said you were listening to a bunch.
Yeah, I like Joe Rogan a good bit, and I've listened to stuff. Stuff You Should Know is a good one, and I like that. And of course, you have a podcast, Stuff I Heard, which is really good. And Kristina, what about you?
Mine are kind of depressing.
Are they murder mystery ones?
Yes.
Oh, I knew it.
How did I know it? Sword and Scale is my favorite.
Sword and Scale?
Yes. So good, but it's very graphic, and the guy just really doesn't give a shit, so he just tells all. That one is probably my favorite. Then there's Crime Junkie, and it's 2 females. That one's okay. But then Dateline, because I don't watch a lot of TV. Like Tiger King, I only watched it because my friends were raving about it, not because I wanted to watch it.
I really thought you were going to say, because my friend was in it.
Yeah, my cocaine friend.
Carol's coming over Saturday. We're having a cookout, Daniel.
So, yeah, I'm in trouble now.
Don't tell anyone. No, and we finished that. Like, we watched that within, like, less than 2 days because I just wanted it to be over with. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I like, whenever I'm cleaning, put on a podcast and it's like zone out.
I'm amazed at people now that don't know what podcasts are.
No, I hated podcasts, but we drove to Wyoming 2 years ago, and coming back, we had made it to Missouri, and I was like, I just want to be home. And you couldn't get any hotels. They were sold out everywhere. I think it was because it was Christmas time, but there were so many snowstorms going on that people were stuck. Yep. So we couldn't even find a hotel. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it. We got like 13 hours. I'm driving. And so he told me, he was like, why don't you just find a podcast to listen to? And so he told me about Sword and Scale, and he was like, I don't really like it, but you probably will. Since then, I've listened to every episode, and there's a lot. And then Dateline, they have a podcast. And so it's the show, but they record it. And since I don't watch TV ever, then I just listen to it.
I didn't know Dateline was still on TV.
Mine neither.
It must be, because, I mean, they upload like a new episode almost every day.
Well, they'd be foolish not to. I mean, any TV show that's worth their salt, if they're not also putting out a podcast, they're really, really missing out. That's one of the things I don't think a lot of people think about is we spend a lot of time on the road, or a lot of times, maybe there's a lot of people working in factories that have their headphones in because they're trying to like keep awake while they're doing something repetitive, and it's a good way to sort of engage them and that kind of thing. For us, it was always driving. My wife would call me and she'd be like, "I'm so sleepy. I'm driving from Andrews, and I got over an hour to drive home, and I'm like, put in a podcast. And she's like, what am I going to listen to? And I said, what are you interested in? And she's interested in Disney. So she went out and she found like 3 or 4 podcasts about Disney stuff that really she enjoys the crap out of. Yeah. And I'm like, cool, that's it. That's all you need. But for everybody, it's a little something different. I ride with a bunch of different drivers, and they've gotten into podcasts, and it's interesting to hear the things they listen to. And you're talking about murder mystery. There's one, a comedian's got one, Dan Cummins. He's got one called Scared to Death that he does with his wife. I haven't listened to it yet, but I've heard it's really good. There was another one I listened to that was a group of comedians. I don't remember the name of it. I wish I could remember it. But they would talk about serial killers, about the way they were brought up, and then they would make jokes along the way. Oh, and then he went and did this. Really? No, he murdered everyone. It's like, what? Yeah, because his mom did this to him as a kid. And you're like, oh my God, But it was amazing to hear. And I thought, okay, this is how you get into it, because it is heavy material, and if you don't make fun of it, it's like it can be super depressing. So you gotta have sort of a light heart with it afterwards. And yeah, I mean, if the material is heavy enough. Unless you're just one of those people who's like, and then the room got dark. It's like, are you kidding me? Who's going to do that? I guess there is podcasts out there that do that, though. Like, just scare you all the time.
Well, the Sword and Scale, there's no happy endings.
There's no happy endings.
No. And my friend Jennifer lives in Florida now, so when I went to go see her, that was probably the longest distance I drove by myself. And so I found the one about the guy in Colorado that had killed his wife and the 2 kids and put the 2 kids in barrels and all this kind of stuff. But it was a couple episodes long. So it got me there. And I was driving at night too, so I needed to stay awake. But I was just so into it.
I bet you were alert too. You were like, okay, when I get to this gas station.
Yeah, well, I was like, I can't stop at the gas station, so I really hope that my Honda makes it, because I'm too scared now because it's dark. But and I've just been trying to listen to some fitness ones recently to get tips, because I feel like this being at home, for people that are used to a gym, they could very easily get unmotivated.
Yes.
And it's so quick to get into a pattern of not doing stuff. Not just the fact that you lose what all you've gained, but you get in a routine. And that's when people join the gym. I'm like, come, be consistent, find someone that's going to text you and say, hey, are you coming? Because it's all about just showing up. And once it becomes in your routine, if you miss it, then you feel like, you're all unorganized and stuff. And I feel like all these people are staying home and they can't do their normal routine. If they don't find something to do, by the time the gym opens, they're not going to be used to going, and they're not going to want to go anymore.
And if they're stuck at home, then they're probably on a system where, kind of like me, they're furloughed. They're at home. They're like, what am I going to do? Oh, it's 11 o'clock. It's time for so-and-so's workout thing on Facebook. Let me turn it on my phone and set it up, and I can work out with them at my house. It's a good opportunity for them to kind of get out of their funk, but also to build a new routine.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Fitness World thing, is they're live, but they're still on the page, and it's been a good opportunity for people to try other classes. Yeah. Maria and Chuck, they teach on the same day as me on Wednesday, and both of them are very much so like me. Like, we call Wednesday our hell day, because we're 3 hard ones back to back to back. And for me, Maria and I were talking, this has been the most I've worked out, honestly. I feel more productive now than when the gym is open, because I'm getting to try their classes, because they teach when I teach, and they teach at different locations. So I don't get an opportunity to go to their classes. So it's been a chance to do that. And I think just the live video, we are putting so much more effort into it, because we're trying to motivate people that haven't worked out, but also keep those that are working out, involved, and make it hard enough for them. Think about the fact they don't have a lot of weights. And then I know the 3 of us have been doing it outside, and it was 90 degrees the other day. I had a moment of weakness where I was like, I'm going to walk off and just say that I lost connection, because it was so hot. And at my house, the sun, we have a pond, and the sun was just shining, and I couldn't see the camera. I had no spit in my mouth because it was so hot. And I'm like, you know what? When the gym opens back up, we are going to be so conditioned.
Well, and also address that. Talk to the camera and be like, if you're outside and it's hot, by the way, get some water. It's hot here. I need some water.
Yeah, well.
And remind people it's important to stay hydrated and stuff like that, because everybody, again, has a different level that they're at. So there's nothing wrong with admitting that you have some things that are going on in whatever you're doing. The important thing that you've done is you got comfortable with the fact that the camera's on. And you're like, okay, so you just got to imagine there's somebody there.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so we're going to do this now. And that's something that you've, I'm sure, helped her with. Is just being comfortable with the fact of, all right, we're talking to somebody. Let's do this thing.
And I don't like live. I don't like live videos at all. I almost decline doing it because to me, I feel like live, you can mess up.
It's okay to mess up.
And you can't fix it. But then also, so many people are at home right now, so everyone's using the internet.
Yeah.
So the internet's lagging out, and so a lot of times in the videos, it skips because the person that's filming it, they lag out, and so I just don't like the uncertainty of knowing what's going to happen. But I've had my friend Brienne; she's come over, and it's been good having her kind of like in the back. She does the modified versions for the people that need to modify. And just having
Brienne. Brienne, I miss you. I don't know if you're out there.
I miss you.
Hey, Brienne.
That has helped a lot because then I feel like I'm still teaching and there's someone there. But talking into the camera and pretending like I see these people, it's been an adjustment.
Yeah.
But I think we're going on like week 3 or 4. But I think he's going to continue to offer, as long as people watch it, like it, and share it, because it's all about obviously the interaction. And if he doesn't feel like people are watching it and doing the workouts, then it won't really benefit for him to hire us to do it.
And shout out to Curtis for continuing to keep you guys employed and to keep you guys doing stuff.
Yeah.
And, I noticed like on Facebook, he's got people repainting the buildings on the inside and again, fixing equipment, making sure everything's ready to go for as soon as this opens back up. Hey, let's get back to normal. I made a comment to Dolores. I said, it's weird that we're paying like a monthly fee to the gym and it's not open. And she goes, yeah, but look at what we get out of it. She goes, I don't mind. I don't mind the fact because we are getting instruction. We are getting good equipment. And I know that I can see on Facebook the work he's doing to continue to make the place better even while this is going on. He don't have to do that, but he's doing that. And so I want to keep this going so that immediately when they say, all right, let's get back to it, she can jump right back into it. She's like,
and I understand, like, not everyone is working, so not everyone can afford it because I'm not training people right now, and my class schedule did get cut, and so I'm not getting the same income. So I completely understand not everyone financially can afford it. But that's also why he's making the videos free. So even if you have to cancel your membership, you still have access to these videos. But those that can pay their membership, it is very much appreciated because he is still keeping people like Daniel employed. The gyms are closed, but that's his full-time job. So if Curtis didn't give him that, that's a huge chunk of income going for us. A lot of the front desk staff, he's got them painting, just jumping in and doing jobs that aren't their jobs, but it's still giving them a paycheck. And then as far as instructors, he reached out to us and offered this live video, and it was very much a trial basis, but we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Even people that can't do it at the time, they can go back and watch it, and people are sharing the pictures of them doing it. And so then it hypes us up when we know people are enjoying them and doing them at home. And so I am very appreciative of the people that like and share and comment. I know some people, they don't like to do that on social media, but it is really helping us because if he didn't think it was working, then we as instructors wouldn't be getting paid. And some of the instructors, that's their only job. And so that's their only income. So when you watch the videos and you do them, and even when you just hit a little thumbs up, you're supporting someone locally that is their job. So that's very much appreciative.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, Dolores, the other night, we were sitting, I think I got home from work one of the 2 days I was working, and she goes, check this out. And it was Maria's class that she had actually had going live then. And she goes, this is what we do on a regular basis, but isn't this cool? She's doing it on her back porch with like nothing.
Yeah.
Like she's showing you that you don't have to have anything. Just keep moving your body. And like, it's just, and she goes, she was breaking it down for me, and she goes, now imagine doing that and notice she's not taking any breaks. She goes, you do that and start twisting this way and twisting that way, and just your own body's resistance, you're going to get a workout, and you're going to get cardio up. I was like, that's really impressive. That's good stuff. I mean, that's awesome that you're doing that. That's awesome that Curtis is doing that. That's awesome that everybody's coming together. And I really think like during this time, it's going to be everybody who's thinking outside the box that's going to help everybody kind of get through this. And the ones who are thinking outside the box the most are going to be the ones that succeed through all of this. And then when everything clears back up, it's going to be like, oh yeah, they're really kicking ass now because they've had to innovate all along the way. And we may have a whole different reality. We may have people in the gym that are working out with masks on their face. I mean, I know some people were doing that before with like trying to get their lungs more resistance, but it may be a requirement in the future.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Also, disclaimer to those that have never worked out, I also think that this is a sad time, unfortunately, that they're being taken advantage of. A lot of, buy this tea, you can lose weight. Like, there's so many of those ads popping up right now. And Maria put a post about this yesterday on her Facebook page. I'm so glad she's on Facebook now. She wasn't on Facebook for a long time. She put a post about this, and I completely can relate because my Instagram is a lot of fitness people, and having worked in the fitness industry, I know that it's all about just making a sale. And some of these people are at home now and they are getting inspired to work out, but they're falling for all of these gimmicks of you got to pay like $150 and we'll give you this program. And you don't have to do that. You can literally just go outside, walk down the road with your kids and burn calories. It's about just picking something that you enjoy doing that doesn't feel like a chore, like running for you. Find something that you like to do and just keep doing it. And you'll see results. But you can't flip-flop all around trying this program and this program and this diet.
Don't buy into the snake oil stuff of, if you take this pill, you'll lose
that's what
30
I'm
pounds
about.
And look like this supermodel that's on TV.
Yes.
Like, no, that never works.
No.
Don't ever fall for that. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to like a flea market or something and they have those ab roller things for sale. Remember those stupid things that are supposed to help you do sit-ups by like it's the weird curved bar and you're like, I know people who bought those and they were like, I don't use it. It doesn't really work. And I'm like, of course it didn't work. But they convinced you in the commercial. Oh, look at the abs you can have by working out with this. That doesn't work.
And there's just so many free options right now, like Pinterest. You can find at-home body weight exercises. And I understand people that lift weights and now they're at home and they don't have these heavy weights. It is an adjustment, but that doesn't mean you just have to stop doing stuff.
Well, and I can tell you right now, there's a lot of guys listening to this and they heard the word Pinterest and they went, I don't know what that is. My wife does Pinterest. Ask your wife what Pinterest is.
Yeah, look on YouTube.
Yeah.
she'll look them all up for you.
Yeah. I went down the wormhole of Pinterest. I wasn't planning on it, but I went down the wormhole of Pinterest because we were doing like one of the dinners that we did with drinks. And I was like, I'm kind of curious how to make this drink. And somebody said, check it out on Pinterest. And I was like, I can't believe I'm going to go on this stupid website. I know this is the thing all the girls are into. And I was afraid to, but as soon as I typed in the word, mixed drink with blah, 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 I got just a plethora of information. And I was like, oh, this is really cool.
If I had to keep one social media app, that would be the one that I would keep.
That's really awesome. It is
my absolute favorite. I don't ever really post stuff on there, but that's my HIIT class that I teach on Wednesdays. That's the only class that I don't actually make up the workouts, but I find them on Pinterest. So it's all treadmill workouts. So I have a whole album of that. Anything that I cook, pretty much I'm getting it from Pinterest. House projects.
I go to visit my buddy Greg down in Albany, Georgia, and his wife is almost every time I'm there is cooking something that she just looked up on Pinterest. And I'm like, and it turns out fantastic every time. And I'm like, holy cow. But then I go down the wormhole of it and I'm going, oh, this is like a clipboard where you can put all kinds of cool stuff. And then everything is linked to each other in a way that if you start going down this rabbit hole, it's going to link you to 20 other things that have to do with those keywords. And I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. So don't be afraid to check out Pinterest and look up, creative ways to make weights and stuff like that. And look for fitness ideas. Like you said, there's lots of free stuff out there. But that's really cool. I dig it. I'm excited. You guys good?
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
I think it sounded good.
You got any questions? Anything you want to add?
You good?
Basically, I just want to say, just keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Doesn't really matter what you do, because if you just stay home, you're going to get depressed. And I know for me, working out is more of a break mentally. And you're at home, and like you said, you're with your loved one, but they're going to drive you crazy, especially those that are moms that are, my sister's a mom, so she's having to homeschool her child, and that is just a huge adjustment because he's not used to her telling him what to do, and he's full of energy, and she's not used to being with him all day long. And so you're not in your normal routine. And some people, they are used to going to work and socializing, and now they're stuck at home by themselves. And I feel like for me, working out is a huge mental break and helps with depression. And I think right now more than ever, it's important that you don't fall into this hole just because you are having to stay home. Like, make the most out of it. Like, I have learned how to ride a bike again. I would have never done that. And I could have been like, you know what, this is crazy. I can't teach my classes. We don't have a lot of weights, because we did go try to find weights, and everywhere was sold out for
the funny part is,
time.
like, just before this thing kicked off, I went with a friend of mine to the Goodwill, and they had stacks of weights for like $2 and $3 a piece.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember picking up a set of 8-pound weights, and it was like $2, and I was like, I don't need these. And I put them back, but I was like, it's pretty cool. 8-pound weights for $2, but I'm sure those are gone now. But
they're probably $30 for those same $8 weights now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Luckily, I already had a good bit of hand weights and kettlebells, but you don't always have everything that you have at the gym. So I think
sometimes it's unconventional things. Like, I was telling my stepson's here, and he's like, I can't go to the gym anymore. I'm going to lift. And I said, I got wood back there. I'll carve you some handholds.
Yeah.
And you go out there and you can just push it away and pull up. You can do whatever you want. Whatever. We'll cut it out. We'll make some.
I think Maria's husband is built her a squat rack, and he's gonna.
I saw that.
He's gonna hopefully build me a box so I can have my own box, because I like doing like step ups and stuff. And then I actually won an electric kettlebell off of Instagram.
I saw that this morning.
It's awesome.
You can set the weight.
It goes from 12 pounds to 42 pounds. So you put it on the stand, and then you just pick the weight, and then it loads the weights into the bell, and then it actually connects to your phone, and it'll tell you like how many calories you're burning, how many swings you've done. It's pretty unique. It was something that I wanted for a long time, but I just couldn't justify buying it.
I was watching the video this morning going, so how does that work?
It's pretty awesome.
Exactly
energy from the sky.
Well,
like, now I'm heavier.
I'm like, this
He came home
doesn't
from
make
work.
sense.
Yeah. I have on Fridays I've been doing like a small group class thing at my house outside, and I had it out there yesterday, and another trainer and I were swinging it, and he was like, how does this even work?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you put it on the stand. He's like, how are the weights going in there?
At first, when I started watching the video, I thought it was like a coffee maker. I was like, well, that's a really interesting coffee maker. Where's the spout? And you were like, do 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 do. And next thing I think you swing it. And I'm like, that's not a coffee maker. I was like, holy crap, that's a real kettlebell.
It was good because I have a 35-pound kettlebell that an old boss gave me. And if you buy a real cast iron kettlebell, it is expensive.
Yeah.
A 35-pound was almost $100. And so that's the heaviest I have. And then this thing goes up to 42. So I'm like, oh, so much better for like deadlifts and swings to have that option. And then if someone comes over and they need a light one, I can just take it on down. So I could never afford it. It's $350.
Holy Jesus.
But I could understand why someone would like it, because I mean, it's all these weights in one.
Yeah.
Just like the dumbbells, where I think that dumbbell that sits on the rack is like $500, but it's like it's like 10 through 100 pounds, and it's
the one that's
dumbbells.
got the little, you turn the thing, adds the weight. Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's also everything you need right there, 2 handles,
Yeah. And it's not taking up a lot of space. See, right now I've got dumbbells from size 3 all the way up to 25, and we just have all these dumbbells just sitting in the garage right now. Yeah. And he's like, it's taking up too much space. And like this one kettlebell, it's just one.
Yeah.
So there's a plus to it. You pay for that advantage, and I think it's a nice product.
And it's cool that it connects to your phone. So.
Yeah. And also, just want to remind everybody, like, if you can afford a $350 pound kettlebell, you can use things around the house. Again, let's think about it, constructively. Pick out stuff around your house that maybe you could lift that's heavy. I'm just looking around the room trying to find something that's
milk
heavy.
jug. Fill your milk jug up with water.
Yeah, used milk jugs filled with water. That's absolutely a good idea. Or sand if you have an abundance of sand.
Or you just dig a hole. You dig a hole and you can fill it back up.
Yeah.
You get a workout from that.
A buddy of mine's got some land. He said his kids wanted to work out and they were bored, and he goes, "Here, dig this hole." He gave him like an old military shovel, and they were excited to do it at first. And once they got the hole dug, he was like, "Now fill it in." And they were like, "But we dug the hole." He goes, "I know, fill it in." He's like, "You're not done yet. You got to fill it back in." And they were like, "Oh."
It's just doing a little physical activity at the end of the day that's important. Run, dig. any of that stuff.
You're a guy.
Podcast.
You're a guy. Go cut your grass.
Cut your
Like
grass?
everyone's
Yeah.
been doing that lately.
Yeah, I got to cut my grass. I don't know if you guys noticed, my weeds have taken over here this past week.
I have.
All the
That
rain we've had has just
situation
been
this year.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get outdoors much lately because of the pollen count.
Oh yes. It's been
Last
horrible.
week, I swear it looked like I had pink eye because just the abrasiveness of the wind and the pollen. My eyes got swollen so bad. I kept telling Dolores, I said, I feel like I got a sponge stuck in my head, like right here. Ooh. And I would come home and put eye drops in my eyes, and I would take Galivert and Sudafed, and I would lay back, and I was like, I'm dying. I feel like I got sandpaper on my eyes, and it didn't seem like it was going to get better. And then I woke up yesterday, and I was like, oh, it didn't bother me. This is the first day yesterday was the first day I hadn't rubbed my eyes in over 2 weeks. But I was like, you keep hearing on TV, don't touch your face, wash your hands. I'm washing my hands a lot, but then I was constantly like rubbing my eyes. I was like, I can't stop rubbing my eyes. They're so irritated. And then suddenly they weren't. And I was like, okay, well, pollen count, I guess.
Yeah, that's been me at work and blowing my nose constantly. Daniel doesn't have allergies, so
I don't have allergies.
Really?
It's a wonderful life.
That's like a superpower.
he's like, "Do you have the corona?" And I'm like, "No, I have the South Carolina allergies."
Listen, I had an idea once about superpowers with superpowers with super flaws.
Yeah.
Like if you could fly, but you also had to do it naked or something, or you could be invisible, but then as soon as you were visible, you had to throw up profusely for like 10 minutes. Something.
Yeah,
I always came up with some weird thing that was like a side effect of your superpower. But then I thought about it for a while. I thought, what if you had like a really lame superpower, and I don't get allergies. That's kind of a superpower.
Yeah. If you live in South Carolina, it is. So, and it has been bad.
I don't know what the side effect is, but
it may not tip the scales on as far as like getting you into the Justice League, but it's for a lot of people. You're like, how do you do that?
But she said that in her class yesterday, and like all the girls were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky," and I'm just like,
Yeah, because all
Is
of
it
our
really that
phones
big
are
a
like
deal?
covered with pollen outside, and
Yeah.
we've all been using like nasal spray. And I feel like that's been another challenge teaching the live classes is I can't breathe whenever I'm outside. And he's over there like, do y'all all have this problem?
Well, it's like, I
it'll
feel that way every
kill
time I
you.
see somebody on a motorcycle or a Jeep or a
Yeah.
convertible,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how are you people breathing?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But now I get it. Like some people just don't have that problem.
maybe so. But I got the test. When they stab you with all the needles, and then it's supposed to like swell up, and this is
Show
like,
you what you're allergic to?
yeah, they said I was allergic to everything. And I was like, hot dog, well, I guess I'm doing all right then. And
No kidding.
That's why I always give Kristina a hard time. I'm like, you just need to toughen up. I'm allergic to everything. This can't be this serious of a problem. And she's like, you're not allergic to everything. Now, Kat will throw me for a
Yes.
loop.
Really?
Yeah.
So I told him that I'm going to steal my grandma's cat and bring it over just so he can have a moment
Just a
to
moment.
feel
Yeah.
how I have felt the past few
Yeah.
weeks.
It's like being hungover just
Yeah.
on your face.
And your eyes itch, your nose
Yeah.
itches, and then mine's worse at nighttime. I
Yes.
can't breathe and I have drainage, so I end up like sitting straight up to fall asleep. It's horrible.
We'll sit on the couch and I have a thing of tissues next to me. I'll start blowing my nose. She's like, sinuses? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys for being on here. We've done about an hour. I feel good about it. You guys feel good about it?
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so happy to have you guys on. And again, find Kristina and Daniel on their social media. Go check out the Fitness World Gym page on Facebook and work out with Kristina and Maria and all the other instructors that are putting up things on how to do that. And check out Daniel's Instagram page and give them a shout out and tell them you appreciate what they're doing. And if you're out there and you're looking for something to do, like follow in their footsteps a little bit, like think outside your comfort zone, be creative, figure out how you can connect other people to what you're doing. If you're an artist or if you're a creator in some way, here's your moment to learn to do something. You got time on your hands, and YouTube's got plenty of opportunity to teach you. So does Pinterest. So, go down the rabbit hole, learn to do something new. And that's it. That's all I got to say. Thanks for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. And I always end this thing saying, cue the cow. Moo.